Okay, are you ready, everybody? Dorsal side, ventral side, and lateral sides, of course. You already know about the fissures, this one and this one, right? Longitudinal fissure, transverse fissure. The central sulcus will be somewhere in here. It's not too obvious. Now, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, parietal lobe, and temporal lobe around here. Then piriform or insula will be inside, will be turning on the ventral. Do you see it, everybody? Mm-hmm. The ventral surface, you see olfactory bulbs connected to olfactory nerves, which are cranial nerve number 1. And this thing, you also see optic chiasm in here, number 2, optic nerve. So this bulgy thing here, that I think when you did the your own dissection on those brains, the pituitary gland was not present, because on this one it is, and I'm happy. This bulgy thing is pituitary gland. I'm poking into that. It can be removed easily. Underneath this, you will see the mammillary bodies in here. Infundibulum would be here, connecting the hypothalamus to pituitary gland. Then on this surface, you also well, if I removed all these blood vessels and joints, there are 2 columns running on the ventral side. These are the pyramids in here and here. There are 2 bulgy columns. In some brains, they are more visible than this one. Are they motor or sensory?
Motor.
They're motor. Very good. And this obviously is the cerebellum. Vermis at the middle and lobes on the 2 sides. Let's see what is in here. As far as cerebellum is concerned, you have arborvitae, the white tree with branches. And under the microscope, you have seen the gray matter around each. By the way, you know the folia or folium. Folium is singular, folia is plural. So each one of these, which run all the way, is called one folio, leaf. Then this one, cerebellum is removed. In here, you see the cerebellar peduncles. There are 3 pairs of peduncles, right? Connecting the cerebellum to brainstem. Superior, middle, inferior. These 3. Cerebellar peduncle. If I write down, if I poke into this, and if it is really clear where I'm putting this thing, the label, and I say be specific, you would see it. You would say it is superior cerebellar peduncle. If I want it to be really, really specific, I will write down in the question that be specific. Then on the top of the medulla, of course, you know that medulla is here, right? Medulla is that spoon-shaped structure here. This is a spinal cord, this is medulla. In medulla, on the dorsal side of it, you have 4th ventricle, in here. Then in the midbrain area, on the tectum area of it, you have superior colliculus, inferior colliculus, two of each on each, one on each side. And this section, you see half of the pineal gland in here, which is a part of epithalamus. We can see a little bit of the habenula in this one. Most places, most of the time, it's not very clear. Now, if the cut was exactly at the midline, you would see this round tip thing in here. Around it is a very shallow concave thing, which is third ventricle. This is intermediate mass of thalamus. Again, specific answer is intermediate mass of thalamus. It's not thalamic lobe, because thalamic lobes will be connected with this mass together. This is a part of thalamus, is gray matter. Then what else? Then this is a cut portion of the chiasm. Here is the fornix. Here is corpus callosum, this white thing in here. Above it is cingulate gyrus. It's better in this one. You see the cingulate gyrus. It's above the corpus callosum. This is the cingulate gyrus. Now, then you have lateral ventricle, one in this side, one the other side. If you open the lateral ventricle, this bulgy thing is caudate nucleus, right? Correct? Okay, caudate nucleus. Then it's part of basal ganglia. Then inside you're supposed to have a tissue which makes cerebrospinal fluid. This tissue is of the. Do you remember this brownish tissue which was here? I think it's washed out now. Maybe it is this thing. It looks like a dry, very thin tissue. What is the name of that? Choroid plexus, yeah. Choroid plexus. Choroid plexus is located in any of these all of these four ventricles. So secretes CSF from blood. Cingulate gyrus, what else? Oh, in the diencephalon, this is intermediate mass of thalamus. This shiny area, triangular area, is hypothalamus. Pineal gland is a part of epithalamus. Tell me what else, if I am missing anything. The superior, inferior colliculi, you see that?
Can you see the premotor and prefrontal gyrus?
Oh, prefrontal part of frontal lobe.
Okay.
Prefrontal area, you can say. Prefrontal. Okay, this area down here is prefrontal, but if, let me see. Okay, you see this line in here? And this brain is a little better than many others. This line and this line, it continues. It's a sulcus. It's central sulcus. Central sulcus is much better in other species than on the brain of sheep, which is this thing. So the central sulcus, a gyrus anterior to that, which will be in here. And it is not very defined as it would be on human. It's precentral gyrus, which is motor. This behind it, whatever these pieces are in here, would be postcentral gyrus, which is sensory. So homunculus is on this one and on this one, at least on human brain that I know of. So anything from here to here is called frontal lobe. This area of it is prefrontal lobe, which I talked to you about the memory and those working memory, etc., in here. Now from where is that thing? From here back, on the top in here, these two locations would be parietal lobe, parietal lobe, parietal lobe. Then under the temples in this area, temporal lobe, temporal lobe. The very back in here is occipital lobe. What is the major function of the cortex of this tip of occipital lobe? Eyes, yeah. Always, eyes are supposed to be here, but its cortex is here. Primary cortex is here for vision. And around the primary areas, we have association areas, which retrieve the previous experience with that function, whatever it is. And they communicate with the primary area, etc., etc. Okay. Anything else? Oh, on the two sides of the medulla, the bulgy things. Where is it? Yeah, it might be this thing in here. Would be olives of medulla. Olives are on the two lateral side. Fourth ventricle is located on the dorsal side, right? Pyramids on the ventral side of the medulla. Anything else?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sounds good to me too. Thank you.